So we'll go ahead and get started with the panel discussion. But first, without further ado, let me first introduce, or let you guys introduce yourselves to the audience and to our camera. We'll start with Thom.
Good morning, everyone. How are you today?
All right.
Good. Thank you so much for coming out in this inclement weather. We're excited. The panelists and myself were kind of talking about some things. We're excited to be here. I am the CEO and co-founder of a company called the Gents of Hollywood. Our mission is to provide quality entertainment through the arts, uplift the community through outreach, and enlighten and empower our youth with education. And our goal is to resurrect and redefine positive African-American male images in all mediums. As well as CEO and co-founder, I'm also an actor and a producer. I'm excited to be here today.
And Brad?
My name is Brad James. I started a little company called Facebook. You know, when you go behind somebody like Thom, you just got to make up. I am an actor, director. I work on projects mainly out of Atlanta for the ones that I'm developing. But my experience goes from a variety of things, from commercial work, film work, TV.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. No, stop.
And Shandra McDonald.
As a comedian. I'm Shandra McDonald. I am a writer, producer, director, and I'm owner of the company Kiss the Living Productions, which is a production company here in Atlanta. Our goal is to tell stories that transform people's lives. I'm also a film professor as well, which is a very important part of my life. We're having a great conversation about images and youth and teaching, fostering different types of creative artistry endeavors with young people to help in terms of the imagery that we see on television right now. I've been in business for many years. I'm kind of a hybrid in that while I was in film school at Howard University, I was also a producer for the Discovery Channel. So my experience ranges from reality television to documentary television to filmmaking, and it's just a pleasure to be here and just a blessing to be able to share with you my experience.
Michael Campbell next.
My name is Michael Campbell. Hi, everybody.
Good morning.
I'm President and CEO of Black on Purpose Television Network. And Black on Purpose Television Network is a new television network designed to show people of color around the world in a positive image without the typical negative stereotypes that are either intentionally or unintentionally put on television to give us a bad look while giving others a better look. It premieres in about 45 days, available on Roku, Google TV, Apple TV, Amazon TV, Xbox, PlayStation, and all mobile apps. So, and I'm very happy to be here with this wonderful panel.
Thank you, Michael. Next we have Avery Williams.
Hi, my name is Avery Williams. I invented MySpace. That's why I'm here. No, actually, I wear two hats. I'm an independent filmmaker, living and working now in Atlanta, as well as I'm a professor of cinema, television, and emerging media studies at Morehouse College.
Thank you. Last but not least, Marie Robinson.
Hi everyone.
Don't say Black Planet. Don't say
Marie Robinson. I'm the CEO of JoshuaDreamFilms. I'm an independent producer, relatively new to the entertainment industry, and I am glad to be here today. I'm glad to be sponsoring this event, and I am also grateful to be on the panel with my co-panelists.
Thank you. Let's give them a round of applause. So we'll dive into conversation. And the first question for the panel is, how would each of you describe the images in film and television as it relates to storytelling and the portrayal of the Black community? Thom?
You know, that's an interesting question. I think if you really take a look at it from where we've come, I definitely think that there's been growth in the area of filmmaking as it relates to African Americans. However, I think that there's still a long way to go. but it's interesting because I was actually thinking about that question prior to coming here, and how does the African American community become satisfied with what they see? At what point do we say, okay, we're happy about what we see? Because, you know, many years ago we looked at the Cosby Show, and you know that was a positive portrayal of the African American family, but yet there was so much negative press about it. Is this truly an African American family? So I think that there has been growth. I still think that there's further development that needs to take place.
Brad, how would you describe today's images?
We live in a world today that is a fast-paced society, and there are so many different mediums you can choose from your television to your theater screens, to these devices right here, to your computers, and I think it's all how you ingest your material, which images you're seeing, because we live in a society where you can choose exactly what you want to see. When the Cosby Show was out, these weren't. So what you were exposed to was really predetermined. There was only a certain amount of channels, and there was only a certain amount of opportunity in black shows for certain things to be seen. Now that there's so much, everything's out there. And unfortunately, a lot of the negative imagery is what's more popular. So that's what's seen more. And I'm talking about even from websites, things like anytime a catastrophe is going down, you hear somebody yelling out "World Star,"
Yes.
and they're recording it, and the world is seeing it more so than a positive conversation or something that's uplifting. So how were we viewed? We're being viewed the way we're allowing ourselves to be viewed. Someone asked me why there wasn't more positive roles for black people in Hollywood, and the truth is, we are who we allow ourselves to be. So the people that are funding the projects are telling their stories. We can't even be mad at someone else for telling their stories, because we have to put ourselves in a position where we're telling our own. Black on Purpose TV isn't around because he had nothing else better to do. It's necessity. And necessity is called the father of invention, right? So out of necessity, we need to create more examples, but that's my interpretation.
Shandra, how would you describe the images that are portraying the black community?
Well, I think the problem that we're having right now is it's not balanced. I think that we live in a generation right now where we just don't have enough diversity in our images. We are a very diverse race, we're a very diverse culture, we have different experiences, we have different socioeconomic backgrounds that we come from, and just in the same way that the white Americans have the same thing. You know, they have some disparaging shows that you look at and go, oh my gosh, that is just crazy. I mean, some people have their comments about reality television, the Kardashians, or what's the one, the Dynasty, or the ridiculous Scott Deirdrick's, the show on MTV. Those shows, Jackass, the movie, the show, all that. Those shows have some questionable things as well. That in terms of their portrayals, our problem is we don't have a lot of diversity.
Why do you think, and this question is for you, Michael, why do you think the negative characters or negative storylines receive more attention than the positive?
Well, you know, when just kind of going a little bit back to what she was mentioning about Duck Dynasty and stuff, but if you gave that same kind of a show with black people, it's viewed as something negative. This is by design. This entire thing is by design. So what happens is they show us in a certain way, and they are willing to fund things that are negative. Leslie Harris, which is a filmmaker out of Brooklyn, which is my home, made a film called Just Another Girl on the IRT. Wonderful film. And when she went to Lionsgate to get funding, she had to turn down funding from Lionsgate because the main character in this film, this young black girl, she meets this guy who is her mother's a lawyer. His mother's a lawyer, and she promised him that when he graduated from high school and got accepted to college, she would buy him a car. So she buys him this brand new Jeep. All right. Lionsgate came back and said, well, you know, we like everything and we're willing to fund it, but we need to make some changes. How come the mother is a lawyer? She said, well, because that's what she is. That's what I wrote. I said, no, we need him to be a drug dealer. All right? This is real. We need him to be a drug dealer. Well, why? Because we feel that's more believable. Okay? So understand, there is a plot to have us look a certain way. We are the biggest purchasers of things off of TV. We are the largest viewers of television. All right, Nielsen rating, Nielsen reports, we watch more TV than everyone else. However, they make sure their face is on most of the commercials, and that's kind of backwards thinking, because you would think, let's make commercials about the people that mainly watch what we watch. But no, it's about projecting one group of people one way and another group of people another. And yes, it's about money, but it's about image and keeping one group of people on top and another group of people underneath.
Avery,
Yes.
We mentioned programs earlier like The Cosby Show. I think of programs like Family Matters that were positive back in the day. What do you think, or who do you think is responsible for the shift in storylines to more negative content, such as what we see in the reality shows? We all know they're not real. They are staged. But what do you believe is responsible for the shift in shows from positive storylines to negative?
Well, the answer to that question is tied up actually in economics. You know, basically what happened is that there was a paradigm shift with respect to producing television shows. When reality TV first launched with Real World, you know, somebody looked and said, geez, look at all the numbers we're getting, all the eyes we're getting on this show, and we just had to put a couple cameras up in the corner of the room and let people just wild out, you know? So they started looking at the numbers and started to realize that we could actually bring more eyes, more advertising dollars to reality TV than we could in terms of the money that we put into in terms of producing a television show. So part of the whole shift began was the economics, you know. That's what, and then we had in the late '90s, early 2000s, was this huge shift away from scripted television, not just black TV, you know, but scripted television in general, you know. That everybody was moving towards reality because of the dollars. Now, why then the negative stuff in reality TV? Sensationalism, you know. And it's sensational. We like sensation. Oh, did you see what happened? You know, it's that. Oh, did you see her? He slapped her, or she slapped him, or, you know, and all that. We get caught up in this culture of sensationalism, such that we just start to feed upon it, you know. And I think that it becomes cancerous, you know. That as we feed upon it, it feeds upon us, and it diminishes a lot of who we are as human beings and what we really want for ourselves and for our children.
Thanks for tuning in and checking out the Overexposed Panel Discussion. I'm Marie Robinson, producer of JoshuaDreamFilms. At JoshuaDreamFilms, we believe in developing content with positive imagery of black people. At this time, we have a call to script to meet this requirement. Please submit your treatment by August 20th to jdfsubmission@gmail. For more additional information, check out our website at www.joshuadreamfilms.com. See you at the movies.